Columnist Christopher Hitchens. Christopher, you're wonderful to help us out tonight. Let me just pose this question. You know a lot more about this stuff than I do, but my blood is starting to boil. You got young people, you got women, you got all kinds of students. These are pro-freedom people. Mousavi may not be perfect, but these people are marching for freedom, and they keep protesting, literally at risk of losing their lives. Some say the casualty rate is above 35. Where is President Obama? Where is his support? Where is his pro-democracy statements, Christopher?
I know. I mean, the thing that's happened to the Iranian leadership, in particular to their supreme leader, is actually a crisis of legitimacy, as you imply. By that I mean to say that it's only a few days since he said that the election result was divinely ordained, was a heaven sent, a heavenly matter. Now he's saying maybe we'll have a recount. You can't behave like that and retain your credibility, or your legitimacy. Whereas the president, in his addresses to the Iranian people so far, has kept on referring to Iran by the same name as the supreme leader gives it, the Islamic Republic of Iran.
So what
saying we want to bring the Islamic Republic of Iran back into the family of nations. Now, the reason why Iran isn't in the family of nations is because it exports its theocratic violence through Hamas and through Hezbollah, and because it openly jeers at the agreements it signed on nuclear matters, very important and solemn and binding agreements with European and international and American and UN bodies. It's publicly spat on them. It's because of its being an Islamic Republic that it can't be allowed into the family of nations on these conditions, and the president, quite honestly, doesn't seem to understand this.
I mean, that's the amazing thing. Look, I'm not going to make the case that Mousavi is Lech Walesa, but I will make the case that the kids, the women, the others marching in the street, you've had a lot of deaths here, they are legitimately pro-freedom, pro-democracy people.
Look, I mean,
why isn't Obama coming out in support of them? Why does he insist on backing the government? I mean, Reagan did it the other way. Reagan used to say, I love the people of Russia. They're good, law-abiding people who want freedom. It's the government that's my problem. Obama seems to be saying, I love the government. It's the people marching that are the problem.
Well, look, the theocracies made the mistake that all totalitarian systems do eventually make. They think they have to control everything, every aspect of people's lives, and they think people are stupid. They behave towards them in an insulting manner. Now it's really blown up on them, and people are saying we would rather have the result of a crooked election is people are demanding that there be a real one. This was bound to happen sooner or later. It's not really too much to ask of the elected leader of the United States that he make a remark along those lines saying, actually, a real election would be nice, and we would like for our negotiations on very important matters such as Lebanon, Hezbollah, Palestine, Hamas, nuclear weapons, nuclear testing, missile testing. We'd like to know that the Iranians we were dealing with had at least been chosen by the Iranian people, because that's a very important matter for us too. In other words, this is not Iran's internal affair. The gangsters who run the country export their theocratic violence through Hamas and Hezbollah, and they're now trying to export it by missiles, and they've lied openly and been caught lying by the International Atomic Energy Authority on a thermonuclear question. So this is not a provincial question, it's an international one.
So, Christopher, there's a story coming out of the UK Guardian, the newspaper, that says one of the guys who had access to the computer programs and, in effect, the election results, this guy who leaked that actually Ahmadinejad finished third and that Mousavi won. The next thing we learned, according to The Guardian, is that he was killed in a car crash. You know anything about this incredible story?
No.
Ahmadinejad may have finished third?
No, but, I mean, look, it would be wrong to put anything past these people. Look at the tendency in the last couple of years in every Muslim country, Indonesia, Malaysia, Morocco, Kuwait, Lebanon most recently. The Islamist parties, the theocratic parties, have all done very, very badly, increasingly so. It would be amazing if it went the other way in a place like Iran, and absolutely astounding if someone like Mousavi didn't carry his home state, which, according to the results, he didn't.
Right.
I think it's, as I said earlier, it's a totalitarian system. It treats people like children. It claims to own, under a mad religious theory called the Velayat-e Faqih, it claims that everyone in the country is a child for whom it is paternally responsible. They've overplayed their hand now. The Iranians, it's a young country, but it's growing up.
There's another story.
You can't make a child grow smaller. They've seen through the whole theocratic
Well, it
racket
just
now.
seems to me every day the protesters march in large numbers gives the mullahs a major headache, and it could be a revolutionary situation. That's how these things start. I mean, 30 years ago, it flipped the other way in Iran. But look there's another story, Christopher, that Hezbollah has been recalled, or Hezbollah military units or troops by the mullahs or by the Iranian provisional, whatever they're called, Revolutionary Guard, to keep the peace on the street. These guys are killers. Do we know anything about Hezbollah coming back? I mean, that adds another dimension to it, because Iran's financing Hezbollah and Hamas.
I have a couple of very brilliant young Iranians who email me all the time. One of them is a former student of mine, and one of them went to an Ahmadinejad rally not very long ago, and he said to me, I put it in my Slate column, he said, now I know exactly what it must have been like to live under fascism. You see lots of splotchy, ugly youths, young men, who can't get a date, being given guns and told that they're special. And I would just add to that, you know, they're told they can do what they like, and they can do what they like to young women on the street, too. That's what fascism looks and feels like.
Christopher, last
and this
one.
is the Basiji, as they're called, and the Pasdaran, the Revolutionary Guards. These are the brown shirts of the situation, and it's just wonderful that so many Iranians who know that they could have acid thrown in their faces if they're female, or have their eyes poked out, or puddles of blood beaten out.
Where are the human rights people to blast this?
They come out on the streets
Where's the
every
Obama
day.
human rights people to blast this, Christopher?
They should know. Look, some of them can watch this eventually.
All right, last one.
They should know we are on their side unconditionally. Of course they should.
That's
it's a matter
right.
of our pride.
Well,
our
that's what I wanted to hear.
self-respect.
I mean, that's my view. You know more about it than I do. Last question, Christopher, as fast as you can. I appreciate your time. Could this be a revolutionary situation? I mean, it seems to me every day they march in protest, the closer they come to a revolutionary situation. How do you read this?
Well, you want to know what Lenin's definition of a revolutionary situation was?
No.
Well, you should. It's a good one. It says when the old order cannot go on in the old way, and the people don't wish to go on in the old way.
I love that.
Actually, both those conditions are now more or less fulfilled.
I love that.
But I don't think this will be the one. This is probably 1905, not 1917.
All right, but we may be gaining. All right, Christopher
Oh, yeah.
Hitchens, Vanity Fair Slate. I can't thank you enough for helping us out this evening.
Thanks for having me.